It's something that comes up most clearly on Dust Bowl, usually late, usually when the round has stalled and nobody's really pushing anymore. The timer's crawling, the choke is locked down. People are alive, but nobody's really committing. I am alive. My team is alive. The server is full. Everything is technically working, functional, and yet I'm not really there. I'm moving, shooting, doing what the game expects of me, but my attention has drifted somewhere else. The game is happening directly in front of me, but I am watching it from a small distance, like I stepped half a foot back inside my own head. What makes it unsettling is how cleanly it lines up with real life. You get home from work, there's that familiar window we all have from about 5 to 9. I make something to eat, sit down at the computer, boot up my favorite video game, Team Fortress 2, and almost immediately I realize I've done this exact same routine now hundreds, thousands of times. Same menu, same maps, same muscle memory, same warm-up habits. Even when the match is good, even when people are talking and classes are balanced, there are long stretches where nothing new presents itself. The desert. You do not notice it all at once. It does not arrive so loudly. It builds slowly, quietly. You start to feel like you have seen every angle, every trick, every outcome the game is willing to show you. When I play alone, that feeling is something that's more manageable. It's easier to live with. I can leave whenever I want. I can close the game mid-round and nobody really cares if you rage quit. There is no explanation required. There's no signature, no doctor's slip. With friends, it changes a little bit. There is a soft pressure to stay socially, to keep queuing, to keep playing, being present. Playing with friends is always fun, in the same way kicking a rock down the street with someone else is fun. The activity itself almost does not matter. The company does. But even then, there are these moments where I stop caring about the match, the game, whatever's going on entirely, and I start searching inside the game or outside the game for something else, anything that will let me justify staying just a little bit longer. And that's usually where the discomfort starts. Not because the game is bad, of course. Not because Team Fortress 2 suddenly failed. Most people watching this probably think of it as one of the only good games left in a very specific sense. The systems still work, the movement still feels right, the game still holds together in a way most modern games can't. The boredom does not come from the game being that broken. It comes from a repetition, from familiarity, from doing something so consistently that your brain quietly will start to push back. When that happens, it stops feeling like wasted time and starts feeling like more of a question. Are you actually enjoying this right now? Not in theory, not because you used to, not because you know you should, but right now, when the answer is unclear, the instinct is not to sit with it. The instinct is to fight it, to alt-tab, put on a video in the background on your second monitor, a podcast, right? Anything that can fill this void, the space, while you wait for the next round to start. I've done this a lot, and I do this sometimes with friends as well. I load into a server and immediately start scrolling while my friends are yapping about something I don't really care about. I look for a different map, a different server, a different way to play the game while we're in the same server, maybe a community server, maybe a gimmick loadout, maybe a new self-imposed challenge, shooting yourself in the foot to get away and make the game more enticing. The game itself could be enough, and sometimes it is. The restlessness, that eternal restlessness, stays. Every option feels slightly exhausted, like it has already been used once, so often. That is when the boredom really shows up, not as emptiness, but it's like a friction. Somewhere along the way, we decided that being bored was unacceptable. Like if you have a free moment and you are not actively consuming something, then something must be wrong with you. So we fill every quiet gap with noise, podcasts, feeds, little shapes on glowing rectangles that never let us be alone. The more we try not to be bored, the more restless we become. It's like picking at a scab and wondering why it never heals. Boredom itself is not new. Humans have always dealt with it. What is new is how allergic we are to it. We treat it like a virus that needs to be eliminated immediately when it might actually be closer to a fever. Yeah, it's uncomfortable, annoying, sometimes exhausting, but it's also signaling something. It's telling you something inside you is asking for attention. In game terms, it's like staring at the same choke point for so long on demo, right? You have your stickies there and you're waiting. Eventually, your instincts tell you to stop, look away, to try something else. Not because the choke point is evil or wrong or, it's going to happen, something's going to happen eventually, but because you have been standing there too long without movement. When you are bored, you are not doing nothing. You are just being. Sitting in a moment with no script and no distractions, the brain starts to wander. It revisits old memories. It asks questions you usually do not have time for. It imagines different futures. There is a system in the brain called the default mode network that switches on during these quiet moments. It connects the dots, it daydreams, and it makes meaning. When we constantly silence boredom, we do not just avoid discomfort, we shut that system down entirely. Being alone with your thoughts is difficult. When things go quiet, questions show up without being invited. What am I doing wrong? Why do I keep doing this? Does any of this actually matter to me right now? In the past, long walks and silent nights made this kind of confrontation unavoidable, right? Staring at your wall. Now, silence barely exists. There's almost always something playing in the background, even when we say we are relaxing. A lot of human progress came from that stillness, right? Isaac Newton, he watched apples fall while isolated. Frankly, most of his life was isolated. Darwin stared at the ocean for weeks at a time. Ancient thinkers understood this instinctively. Seneca warned that to be everywhere is to be nowhere. Medieval monks treated boredom as something to wrestle with, not to escape from. Romantic poets built entire bodies of work out of long walks and quiet observation. Heidegger later wrote about deep boredom, not yawns, but this hollow sense of existence that forces you to confront yourself. HDT sat by the Walden Pond and let time stretch. None of them treated stillness as wasted time, but they treated it as a usable space. There is a Japanese concept called, and I'm going to butcher this, forgive me, ma. It refers to the space that gives meaning to what surrounds it. The pause between notes, the silence that makes words actually matter. Without that space, everything collapses into noise. Without boredom, reflection disappears. That feeling on Dust Bowl is not telling you to quit forever. It's not telling you to uninstall the game or sell your items or swear off TF2 or just take a 2-week break. It is just a signal. You have done this enough for now. You either need to change how you are engaging or step back and look at it from a different angle, a different perspective. Sometimes this boredom we have is not the absence of enjoyment, but sometimes it's the space where enjoyment itself has to be questioned and we have to redefine it. It's uncomfortable. It's a very uncomfortable space. It's awkward, but again, it's honest. And so, I'm curious. Is Team Fortress 2 boring right now for you? Is everything going on so boring? And not for the obvious reasons, but for the more subjective and personal reasons. When it is, what do you do with that boredom, that time? Do you fill it in immediately? Or do you let it take you somewhere else, in-game or out of it? Again, I try to read all the comments down below. They mean so much to me in every video. And I appreciate everyone who shares. Thank you for tuning in and listening. And as always, take care and beware.